Guys, thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Very good morning. Thank you for coming in today and wonderful crowd. You set the stage right, Hoshi, and I'm going to try and do justice to this. So today, I think we're going to talk about the evolution of spend management, how we are going to look at it. And I wanted to start with a nostalgic picture. I do not know if you recollect what this is. Anyone in the crowd? Right, brothers. Okay, that's wonderful. Gaswala at its best again. Probably some people also said it, so thank you very much. I take the credit back from Gaswala. But then the whole point here is it was the first time when Wright brothers took off from their Kitty Hawk, and that's how the travel of the future began. And this has changed as much as it could in the last so many decades, and probably the fastest in the last so many years. And after COVID, it is totally redefined the way we are looking at travel and expense. And I think on that note, I wanted to bring your attention to, what are the detractors, or let's say, what are those disruptors which have been there to the employee spend and management. That's the kind of thing which we are talking about today. We talked about COVID, we talked about geopolitical tension, and any one of us can have a bad dream. So let's say Mr. Putin had it this time, and we have a lot of problems happening, let's say in Europe. But then that's hopefully going to die down soon, and we are going to have a sustainable future to us. And of course, I think inflation is killing all of us. And I was speaking to one of the customers just now, and he was also mentioning that borrowing costs have gone up, and who would know better than you, Indranil? So I think those things have changed the way we used to travel and spend forever. And COVID has brought in so many things which has made it difficult as well for us to manage it in our own organization. And ask yourself a question, and this is something I was also wondering on. If I was to travel to Mumbai on an emergency from Delhi, how much would be the ticket cost as compared to 3 years ago? Now, has the costs gone up? Borrowing costs has gone up. It has become expensive as it is. Or we are also talking about the money which is coming down into the market. Even that is shaping the future back for us. So these things are going to be here with us for some time. And this is basically making it difficult for all of us to manage. And we have our SAP's CFO also in the room today, and he will be on the stage later in the day. We'll talk about his journey as well, how he's doing at it. And we keep on getting emails from him, control your cost. And that's a very difficult thing right now to do, because then there's another email from the MD which says, where is the business? So we do not know how to balance. So it's a difficult one which we try and do. But then that's how it's changing, so it's becoming even more difficult now. Now, if you look at the realities of today, we are hopefully post-COVID area, and then I was speaking to a few customers. In fact, I was speaking to my wife the other day, just 2 months ago, and we were talking, is COVID going to be back? Because then we were hearing a lot of murmurs that yes, you might get into restrictions once more, but hopefully that's not going to happen. So the times have been very challenging, very volatile as well. But if you look at the reality of today, the good news, I would say, is that we are getting back to the pre-COVID era, so to say. I'm very happy to tell you, to all the Concur customers, not only in India but globally, we have processed 192 million expense reports in the last year. That is up by 42% since 2021. And what it simply means is travel and expenses back in action. Even if you look at travel, we have done 42 million transactions in a year. That is up 110%. Now, what that even means is even more people are traveling now. So that era has started back again. And if you look at this, the problem doesn't stop there. So people are reeling under pressure. I, as a personnel and as an individual, it is my responsibility to see if I can do sustainable travel. if I can do purpose-led travel, if I can do purpose-led expense management in the house or in my organization, and I think Hoshi said it all, it is not only for the CFOs, but let's say for each one of us, how sustainability can be right at the top of your personal agenda as well. And that's something which is what we are bringing to the table. Now, regulatory issues, or if we talk about tax and compliance, very, very important stuff. And I think, again, Sandeep, I don't want to, take the thunder away from you. You would definitely talk about how we do at SAP, and we would be very keen to hear that. But then I think that's an important piece as well. The policies are changing also. And within the changing policies, we need to be careful of how we are taking care of the policies on the expense and travel side of it while we are working with our own people. And on top of it, we have to be careful that they get a brilliant user experience as well. If I order something, for example, and if I take a leaf out of it, if I order something or if I book a ticket personally for me, from Amazon, or let's say if I go to a Make My Trip or a Thomas Cook, we have you in the on the table. Thank you very much for coming. It doesn't take time, but then there are companies who probably would still do it manually, or let's say with the help of other tools. Now, can we give a seamless experience back to our people, which is very well connected with your HR system as well? So if a person moves responsibility from one place to the other, it automatically triggers those approval flows, and changes takes place in the system itself, and that helps in employee retention. Nobody wants to work on those papers anymore. We all are living in a world which is full of apps, is full of mobile use, and that's where I think the world is moving. So if you move forward, the problem which is lying in front of us, and I think there was a survey by IDC as well, which said that the categories or the known devils of travel and expense were known to us, earlier. But today we are living in a very different world. Employees want control. We are pledging to flex in SAP. We are allowing people to stay at home. We are telling them if you want to work from home, you can work from home. And therefore, we have categories which were never known to us. So people are now coming and saying, and our CFO would know it better than anyone else. They are coming and saying, we don't want to use public transport for that long because I would like to take my own car, or I need a leased car, maybe because I don't want to catch infection, or for that matter, I want to stay home and I want to claim my internet bill, or for that matter, can you give me another PC at home because I need a big screen as well with my laptop because my doctor has advised not to look at the screen very close, right? And I need a shield as well, etc., etc., etc. Now compare it with the situation which used to exist pre-COVID. We knew what categories we are talking, and there's always a category, and CFOs would relate very well to this. There's always a category called other expenses, and we would put, let's say, a 4%, 5% kitty into that. But in today's world, that has gone up to 20, 25%, because we do not know what these categories are. So what we are trying to do, we are trying to hide them under one or the other classification. Now, how do we improve it? Or these are the challenges which would keep coming back to you. And that's where we need to find an answer for ourselves. Not only for today, not only for tomorrow, but let's say for the future generations to come. And that's where I say, where are we going? So we are basically looking at a core foundation, which is what we do as of today. We are talking about the market accelerators, and we are talking about smarter systems, which are going to be happening, right? So when you look at the Concur system as of today, it gives you a seamless experience between your travel and expense, even connected with your employee system, and that's what it does well. But is the future going to be this? The future is going to be bigger and better than this, and that's why we are talking about intelligent spend. So what we are going to deliver back to you is an intelligent travel, expense, invoicing, and payment system, very well connected with your HR systems as well. And that's going to be talking about the holistic spend management. So what do we do with our customers is together we are shaping the future. And I think we are learning from you. you are going through a lot in the past so many years, I would say. And that's where I think it is becoming very difficult for all of us to manage and talk about the kind of vision you would like to draw for your organization. And that's a problem with us also, frankly. And that is what we are sitting with our customers to understand their problems, their journeys, how we can help you, how we can help shape the next future roadmap, not only for SAP to be used in our own company, but let's say you as a customer, how we can give you that experience. And keeping that in mind, let's imagine, and I'm not talking about this innovation, and I'm sure you'll be excited hearing about this, and you won't want to wait going to that future, because I mean it, because I really loved it personally. So let's think about a situation, where you're preparing for a leadership meeting, and your MD or your CEO or let's say your chairman or your board is asking you for two simple things. You as a CFO, consider yourself as a CFO right now if you are not a CFO in the room. You as a CFO is running a travel and management program for my company. Can you tell me two important things? One, how is it helping in my sales success and acceleration? And second, how is it giving a wonderful user experience back to my people, which is going to shape the future of my employee welfare in my organization? And if I hear those two important questions, as a CFO, what would I do? I would start going into my system, look at a lot of data, probably reach out to a data person or an analytics person in the system and try and get a lot of data out and try and draw some reports out of it. Isn't that what I'll do naturally? But are we going to have reports? Are we going to have slides in the future? And that's a very brilliant question when it comes to what at SAP we are doing. And that's where we can assure you that we have all the building blocks to make sure that we produce the next system in the world which is intelligent, minimalistic, where travel and expense can be managed on our own automatically, and therefore it is a very minimal interaction with a person based on your choice. What you do today, when you book your travel, you would be given choices or preferences as per your policy framework which is there in your organization, or probably what you would have done in the past. And then once the invoices come in, you would capture it, it would get into the system seamlessly, and then basically the amount would be reimbursed back to you, and the payment would also be done back to the supplier, or let's say the provider. But tomorrow, and this is not for tomorrow as in tomorrow or the next quarter or the next year, but this is the future we are talking. But tomorrow it's going to be totally different. It's going to be minimalistic. And like I said, imagine yourself doing two things. One, your travel and expense management program, how has it helped on the sales success and acceleration and the employee experience? And here is the answer to it. And I'm going to do one very simple thing. I'm going to ask my SAP AI, can you please tell me, by plotting the last 3 years data on this world map for me, because I'm a global MNC, or for that matter, I would like to focus on India or maybe a continent, and put that heat map of last 3 years travel and correlate it back to the sales success of, have I been getting enough sales in certain pockets of my organization? And therefore, that heat map would come up and would tell you that, in Sao Paulo or in Japan or in Tokyo, for that matter, in Nagpur, in Bangalore, in Mumbai, we are getting a very large cloud of people traveling. And what I just need to do is overlay all my sales success data or the sales effort which I've done in my organization and correlate it directly back to the management saying, yes, we have been doing good in probably this area, that area. Let me tell you, we're not doing good in, let's say, somewhere around Bangalore. And therefore, we need to have a very, very agile strategy. Can we change it right now? We should see what is going wrong, why we are not being able to sell in Bangalore, but we are traveling too much. Is it because of a few customers? Is it because of in a particular pocket? And that's what is going to define your travel and management, spend management program for the future. Now, by the time you're thinking, board is happy, the CFO, the CEO is happy, my manager is happy, he has another problem for you, and he says, don't go. Can you please tell me about the user experience, about my employee retention program as well? You know, I've been traveling as an MD or a CEO or certain personas in the company. I've been traveling to multiple locations. And when I go there, I want to see what has been the impact. So he would like to understand, and this is what I can draw on the picture, overlaying my travel experience directly relating to places I've been to where the employee retention program has worked phenomenally well. The attrition has been at the lowest level. Now, what does it tell you? It tells you that the face-to-face contact matters. It tells you your employees need you more than ever. It tells you wherever I have seen my employees, sat down with them, spent time with them, has given me more employee retention than probably in other areas. And that's something we need to do more often probably. And that's ROI back for me, because I can retain talent in my organization. And that's what we are talking. And by the time you're happy, now I can go take a sip of a hot tea. The MD has another problem for you, because he says, don't go as yet. Where is your cost saving agenda? That will always be there on the table, right? I see a lot of heads nodding, you know, people laughing, because that's not going to go away. The cost saving is important more than ever, and that's going to be on your agenda always. So do not go. And further tell me, what is the cost saving initiative you have taken? And do you have something there to showcase to me? And what I tell him is this: if you see those blue blocks, these blue dots are basically a lot of engineers in my company, let's say, are using a same design software given by a company and the same subscription, which is giving me an X amount of spend. Now, what is my next question as a CFO or a CPO or a CIO to that matter immediately is, what is the volume discount? Because I'm using it so much. Can you get me a better price? And that's where, when they turn red, that gives me the value of the total subscription of this software back to my MD or CEO to tell him, I'm going to save you this much of money because I'm going to get you volume discount, because this is how much I'm spending on this particular item. And that's the future I'm talking about. And it's 7 p.m. and I believe our bosses have an AI with them also personally. They know you're going to be going home. You got a call from your wife or your kids saying, when are you coming? But then he also calls you. And he tells you, if you're going home as yet, because you have not gone home as yet, he or she would know you're here in the office. Can you please also tell me, I asked you a question last time. When we do a new product launch in a particular place, my contingent labor spend always sparks up. It's just too much, goes out of the roof. Is there a better way to manage it? And I can again ask my SAP AI, can you show me some figures and facts? And my SAP AI tells me that the last time you did it in Taiwan got you 90% spend on the contingent labor. But similar companies or your own company, when they did it in Portugal, it was 20% less than what you spent in Taiwan, because the labor is cheap there. And that's a brilliant example. Now, for that matter, if Mumbai is difficult, acting difficult, but Bangalore is going through some softness, I can do my product launch there, if at all it makes sense, right? So with those caveats, that is how we're going to change the future of spend management forever. And that's the future we are heading towards. So would there be any slides? We doubt that. But that's the future which is coming our way, which is going to be intuitive, which is going to be intelligent, travel, expense, invoice, and payment, all connected with your employee experience to give you the impact you're looking forward to. And by this time, you have already gone home, so I'm not going to disturb you after this. But we will not go home. And we at SAP would stay back and make sure that we continue to shape the future for you. And that's what we do best. And this is where we are going to. So in the room, we have many people from SAP Concur today talking about many things. And one of my friends, Srivatsan, he's here. He's the product head. He will talk about where the product is moving, what can you expect, and that's going to be an important thing to understand what is there in the current future for us, and the long-term future is definitely exciting. And we basically are waiting for ourselves to use it. That's where I would like to say thank you very much for your time and patient hearing. Thank you.